Question number 21. Division, and again, you don't really divide with fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal. So the first fraction stays the way it is. You multiply, change it to multiplying. The reciprocal is to turn this fraction upside down, so it becomes 20 over 21. I tend to put the minus sign up with the numerator just to help keep track of it. Now that it's multiplying, you can reduce before you multiply. You're looking for numbers, one number in the numerator and one number in the denominator that both can be divided by the same thing. So 3 and 21 can both be divided by 3. Divide them by 3. The 3 becomes a 1. The 21 becomes a 7. 16 and 20, they could both be divided by 2, but they also could both be divided by 4. I'm going to go ahead and just divide them both by 4. So 16 divided by 4 becomes a 4, and 20 divided by 4, negative 20 divided by 4, becomes a negative 5. That's all you can do as far as reducing. So multiply numerators times numerators. 1 times negative 5 gives me negative 5. 4 times 7 is 28. There's nothing to reduce because we did all of our reducing here. It was a positive divided by a negative, so our answer should come out negative, and it did. So that is our answer. Number 22, multiplying a mixed number and a decimal, I would urge you to change this decimal into a fraction, especially since this decimal is going to come out to be a repeating fraction, a repeating decimal, and it's going to be a little bit harder to work with. So make this into a mixed number. That is 1 and 5/10. Divide 5 and 10, both of those by 5, you get 1 and 1/2. So this problem is really negative 2 and 1/3 divided by 1 and 1/2. You don't really want to divide fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal. To make a mixed number into a reciprocal, you first have to make it into an improper fraction, or a fraction greater than 1. So 2 times 3, or 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 1. This is negative 7/3 divided by 2 times 1 is 2, plus the 1, 3 over 2. And then, now that it's dividing with fractions, you don't really divide with fractions. You multiply by the reciprocal. The first fraction stays the way it is, negative 7/3. The dividing sign becomes a times sign. 3 over 2 becomes 2 over 3, the reciprocal. You just flip the fraction upside down. There's nothing to reduce. The 3's are both in the denominator now, so you can't reduce. It has to be one number in the numerator and one number in the denominator. No, you cannot reduce while it is set up as division. You can only do the reducing when it's set up as multiplying. So nothing to reduce, just multiply. 7 times 2 is 14. A negative times a positive, negative 14. 3 times 3 is 9. That's your answer. Changing it back into a mixed number, you would say 9 goes into 14 once, and 9 from 14 would leave me 5 pieces left over, 1 and 5/9. It was a negative fraction. This will be a negative mixed number, so negative 1 and 5/9. Number 23, same sort of thing. Decimals and fractions, I would urge you to change them to fractions. All right, 1 and 25/100. I would hope you would know that 25/100 is 1 and 25/100. That's 25 cents is a fourth of a dollar. that's what 25/100 is, 1/4. So this is negative 1 1/4. You have a not situation here where you have two negatives right next to each other. That just becomes a plus sign. So this is plus 2 5/6. Change them to improper fractions. 4 times 1 is 4 plus the 1. This is 5/4. Negative 5/4. Did I say minus? This should be plus 2 5/6. So this becomes plus 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 5. This is 17/6. And to add and subtract fractions, we need a common denominator. 4 and 6, they could multiply up to 24, but it's better if we use the smallest thing they multiply up to, which would be 12. So you'll multiply this by 3, multiply the top by 3. This becomes negative 15/12, plus 6 would be multiplied by 2 to make it 12. Multiply the top by 2. It's going to be 34/12. I'm going to move over here. Put it over one denominator. Negative 15 plus 34/12. They're different signs, so you have to subtract. The answer, the larger amount, is positive. We're going to get a positive something over 12. To subtract these, put the bigger number on top. 34 is on top. You want to subtract 15 from it. Borrow, you can't take 5 from the 4, so you have to borrow from the 3. It becomes a 2. And then that makes this a 14. 5 from 14 is 9. 1 from 2 is 1. So this is 19/12. And again, yes, it's positive. You can change it into a mixed number. 12 goes into 19 once. We have 7 pieces left over. So 1 7/12 would be it as a mixed number. I will take it as either answer. You need to be putting them in simplest form, though, so they should be reduced. Number 24. 3 7/8 minus 5 1/8. Change them to improper fractions and then think about your rules for integers. They already have common denominators. That makes it a little bit nicer. But 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 7, I think of 7 as a 6 and a 1. So 24 plus 6 is 30. Plus the 1, 31/8. And then minus 8 times 5 is 40. Plus 1, that's 41/8. Put it over one denominator. 31 minus 41/8. There are different signs here, so you're going to subtract. The larger amount's the negative. We're going to get a negative. 31 from 41 is 10. So negative 10/8. That can be reduced. They're both divisible by 2. So that is going to be negative 5/4. Changing it into a mixed number, 4 would go into 5 one whole time, and we would have one piece left over, 1 1/4. It was a negative fraction. It has to be a negative mixed number. So negative 5/4 or negative 1 1/4. Last problem for this section, 2 1/4 times 1 6/7. Our only rule for multiplying is to multiply numerators times numerators and denominators times denominators when we're multiplying fractions. So make these into improper fractions so that we have, or fractions greater than 1 I mean, so that we have only a numerator and a denominator. So 4 times 2 is 8 plus the 1, 9/4. And then 7 times 1 is 7, plus 6 is 13. So it's times 13/7. You do not need common denominators when you multiply. If you could reduce, you'd reduce, but nothing can be reduced here. 7 can only be divided by 7. Nothing up here can be divided by 7. 4 could be divided by 1, 2, or 4. Or 2 and 4 is all we care about. Neither of these are divisible by 2 or 4, so we just need to multiply. 4 times 7 is 28. 9 times 3 is 27. Carry a 2. 9 times 1 is 9, plus the 2 is 11. So it's 117 over 28. It was a positive times a positive. We've got a positive answer, so this is good. To change it back into a mixed number, I would do 117 divided by 28. 28 is almost 30. So 3 times this would be 90. It looks like I should be able to go 3 times. Would I be able to go 4 times? It would be 8 plus 32. It'd be 80 plus 32. That would be 112. That's going to work. It's going to go 4 times. 4 times 8 is 32. Carry a 3. 4 times 2 is 8, plus the 3 is 11. 5 left over. Put it over what you were dividing by, and that is your mixed number, 4 and 5/28. Okay, I would have taken it as an improper fraction also. That is it.